sometimes we feel the need to rush. Sometimes we're like, hey, I got to get something out now. I don't, I'll be honest with you. A lot of times, a deadline is the thing that will make you creative. But it's my opinion that when that happens, it's because you have these older ideas that have been culminating and growing for a while without you really tending to them consciously, and then they're able to just pop right out. I think there are other times, though, where it's like you need to be aware when the thing that has come into your mind, you could call it inspiration, I guess, or just an idea. Be aware when it's just a seed and you're like, oh, that's really good. Like, this is a good idea for a book, for a song, for a play, for a movie, but it might not be ready yet. Like, you might be rushing things. You can't expect to plant some corn and come out the next day or the next week and to have a corn stalk ready for your picnic, right? Even for YouTube videos, for a comedy sketch, I'll have an idea. It's not high art. It's just a silly comedy sketch. But I'm like, okay, that seems like a good idea, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready to sit down and write it. And sometimes I will start writing it immediately, get a first draft out, and then I'm like, okay, let's just let this sit for a while, and I'll come back to it a little bit later. And either if it's just an idea, I'll think about it. And it's the kind of thing that kind of runs in the background, especially if you haven't written it down. You're just constantly thinking it over, mentally rehearsing it, going through it. What could this be? What are the possibilities? What are different obstacles that I'm going to come up in the creation of this? And maybe if you've written a little bit down or worked on it a bit, you come to it and say, okay, come to it with fresh eyes. Give yourself enough time to be like, okay, I wrote this 2 weeks ago. I've kind of forgotten about it. Okay, I can see maybe what the next page is, or I can see what's wrong with it. Or if it's a painting, I can see this is the composition that I want. These are the colors I should be using. And it might be a while. Some ideas take longer than others. Some only need a week to grow until they're ready to get out there, and some need years and years and years, and some need you to put in reps with other ideas before you're ready to take on that one. Some need you to practice, and some might seem like that, but they're not. That's the tricky part, is sometimes we sit on ideas for too long because we're like, oh man, I gotta get this right. So you have to be able to discern there, what's the difference between perfectionism, I gotta get it right, and being a responsible farmer who knows this plant is just not close to being ready to harvest yet.